Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, the voice you know with the news you trust studio, sponsored by BASF, where you can count on the trusted performance of Allevo seed treatment to protect your soybean crop. I'm Dusty Sonnenberg. Under mostly sunny skies, we've got 50 degrees on the barn thermometer and windy conditions. Now, 24 hours from now, it may be a very different story. Also, in case you missed it, this morning was Dale Mignot's final radio broadcast, as he'll be retiring after more than 30 years on the radio. Dale, we appreciate all you've done. Thanks so much for sharing Ohio's agriculture story. It won't be the same without you. This quick calendar reminder, the Jackson County Regional Livestock Market will have a bred cow sale on December the 19th, starting at 6 o'clock p.m., and then they will be having a cull cow sale along with the regular sale on December the 20th. That's starting at 11. For more information, visit jcrlm.com, your livestock authority. Let's check in now with Ty Higgins as he has an update on the H2 Ohio program and water quality improvements.
The 2025 algal bloom on Lake Erie was mild, coming in at a 2.4 on the severity index. This is not only consistent with what the research is saying about the progress of farmers' water quality efforts in Northwest Ohio, it's also following a trend that is promising for the future, according to Jordan Haywisher, Director of Water Quality and Research with Ohio Farm Bureau.
It really matches what we've seen in the dissolved reactive phosphorus coming down the Maumee into Lake Erie. 6 years in a row or so that have been mild to moderate blooms, I think 8 out of the last 10 years, and that matches up with a 6 to 10% reduction in DRP that's coming down the Maumee, which is what fuels the algal bloom. So the science is catching up with the results, and we're seeing good progress that we are going to kind of shout from the mountaintops as we move forward, because I think we're going to make continued progress as the years go on.
That progress is great for water quality, but it also helps the buy-in for programs like H2 Ohio. We just heard a couple of weeks ago that half of the western Lake Erie Basin is now involved in that program in one way, shape, or form. That program continues to grow, and the more it grows, the more progress we expect to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we can show farmers, 4 seasons in to H2 Ohio that their efforts are working, they're not making money off H2 Ohio. It's offsetting costs. A lot of times it's still costing them money, and they are getting paid after they prove that practice has been done. So they put a lot of effort out there to put those practices on the ground and to show, hey, after the last 5, 6, 7 years, we're seeing like significant progress. It just keeps that energy moving, and that ball's going to keep rolling.
You can watch our entire conversation online at ohioagnet.com. I'm Ty Higgins reporting.
And thanks, Ty. Well, let's get a check now on your Thursday weather forecast, brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance, online at seedconsultants.com.
Rain showers this afternoon continue through the evening. I think once we get past midnight, we're winding down pretty quick. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Quick forecast update for you here. I'm not making any changes. The rain is going to be, I think, impressive. 1/4 to 1 inch totals over all of Ohio. And then we can see this rain end as a brief burst of snow as temperatures dramatically drop overnight tonight. We are bitterly cold through the day tomorrow. Temperatures yo-yo, getting a bit better on Saturday, cooling off again Sunday, early Monday, but most of next week looks warm. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Stay tuned. We'll be back to take a look at your markets after this.
When you're buying seed, there's more to a transaction than money. You're exchanging time and trust, hoping each decision adds up at harvest. Seed Consultants sales professionals don't take that lightly. With products made to excel in the Eastern Corn Belt and agronomic knowledge that stands up to the test, we're all about the same things you are: reliability and results. Buy into a better seed experience. Visit seedconsultants.com to view our corn and soybean lineup.
Let's get an analysis on today's markets from Leist Mercantile. Here's Ryan Metzger.
This is Ryan Metzger with Leist Mercantile, providing you with your USDA weekly grain export sales update. Due to the government shutdown, we're still getting a slow drip of data, so these are the announced export sales for the week ending November 27th. On corn, we had announced export sales of 1.797 million metric tons. This was near the higher end of industry expectations and well above the 852.9 thousand metric tons per week needed to keep with the USDA export target. On soybeans, we had announced export sales of 1.116 million metric tons. This was near the lower end of industry expectations, however, well above the 572.9 thousand metric tons needed to keep with the USDA target. On wheat, we had announced export sales of 460.7 thousand metric tons. This was within industry expectations and well above the 140.3 thousand metric tons needed per week to keep with the USDA export targets. Please visit our website at leistmercantile.com to learn more about our crop insurance, grain marketing program, and brokerage services.
And thanks, Ryan. Well, let's take a look now at your markets, brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance, online at seedconsultants.com. Well, a mixed day of trade as we find March corn trading up 2 3/4 cents, $4.43 1/4 cents. Your May corn is up 3 1/4 at $4.51. Now, soybeans are trading lower, with January beans down a nickel at $10.53 1/4, and March soybeans also down a nickel, $10.63 3/4 cents. Wheat for July, the new crop up 2 3/4 cents at $5.30 1/2 cents. September of 26 wheat is up 3 cents at $5.44 1/4 cents. In livestock, the numbers also mixed, with December live cattle down $2.95, $227.37 1/2 cents. Your February cattle down $2.12 1/2 at $227.42 1/2. Now, lean hogs for February are up $1.22 1/2 at $84.22 1/2, and April hogs trading $1.22 1/2 higher, $89.17 1/2 cents. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day, everyone. This is the Ohio AgNet.